Hello, Natasha.
Hi, Daria.
Can you tell us a bit more about this beautiful exhibition and your beautiful upcoming auctions of books and manuscripts?
Yes, of course, my pleasure. So we are here in our galleries at Sotheby's. This is what you can see here is our upcoming sale. It's the various owner sale. So that means the property we have here comes obviously from different collectors. And we are really super pleased this year with the auction because we really have everything. As you can see, I mean, there's even an ice axe here this time around. So we can cover everything from medieval manuscripts to modern first editions. We have some James Bond. We have a penguin egg. We also have a tea set that was supposedly used by Gandhi. So a lot of exciting objects here today.
Oh, nice. And do you have any favorite object in the sale?
Yeah, that's it. It's always a very difficult question because obviously all the manuscripts are my favorites. But I've already mentioned the Pelican Book of Hours, but I would also love to show you another piece which I really, really enjoy. It's this newly discovered fragment from a very popular German text called the Italian Guest. And it was basically kind of a guide for the German nobility on how to behave properly from like table manners, but also like how to be a just ruler. And so this was a super, super exciting find because it could be a new manuscript because I couldn't find a pre-existing text that this fragment could have originated from.
Oh, beautiful. And how did this fragment came into the possession of Sotheby's?
That's a very, very good question. I can't talk too much about this, but we were contacted by someone who then very kindly consigned it. So we were actually approached for our expertise in medieval manuscripts, which is really good.
And what is the oldest and the newest objects in your sale?
Yeah, very good question. Let's start with the oldest ones. So we have a very lovely selection of Italian fragments here, which contain so-called neumes. That was one of the earliest forms of musical notation. And I'll get one out for you because I think it's just such a fantastic shape. You can see here, this one was once part of a very big liturgical manuscript, but then it was used almost like you can see here as a little book binding. So I think that's a really lovely object which shows you kind of the afterlife of medieval manuscripts. So that's something I quite enjoy. And you can see the script is very beautiful, quite difficult to read, but it's very beautifully done with the replications as well.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And the
newest object. So for that one, I put it over here for us. So I'm going to say the newest object when it comes to medieval manuscripts. So this is technically not a medieval manuscript. It's a Spanish Carta Executoria, so a patent of nobility. And this one was issued in February 1572. For a member of the Alfaro family. And it's super exciting because it basically has 4 of these full-page illuminations. You can see absolutely gorgeous, like the colors are super vivid and very, very well preserved. And yeah, here you can see the full page illuminations. So the binding is basically, it's made kind of after the original binding, which we can actually find bound in here at the, sorry, I lied, it's at the front. So we can still see remnants of the original binding here. But this one is basically a modern kind of reproduction of what it would have looked like. And it also has a very lovely portrait of King Philip in here as well.
And this is a really beautiful book. But are there any other book or manuscript that one could spend a lot of time studying? And for example, if a visitor comes in, you would really recommend to look through and it sort of opens up when one studies it the most?
Yeah, I mean, I would say obviously all the manuscripts we have here you can spend lots of time with, but I would love to point out this lovely 13th century Psalter from Germany. It's in Latin, but it's from Germany. And you can see here, it still has its historic binding, not the original binding, but a historic binding. And it's closed with these little metal clasps which open, and you can also see here the little tabs are still extant, which is super exciting. And why I think this is an object where you can spend like hours with, as you can see here, it has 9 of these gold initials, but it also has countless of annotations by later medieval owners. And I think once you really kind of start to engage with that, like there's just so much for you to discover. So aside from the usual psalms, there's just so many lovely annotations which would help you kind of to use the manuscript in your daily devotional practices. And someone has even added like little musical annotations so you know how to like sing the psalms as well. And I think that's just a wonderful object.
Beautiful. So
It's
those
very
were those added much later, or were they contemporary?
Yeah, so they were added later, but not much later. I would say maybe a maximum 200 years later, but it's actually kind of closer, I would say, to the conception of the manuscript. But that just shows us how much it was still kind of in use, which I think is always really lovely to see.
May I ask you, what is the most unexpected object at the wheel?
That's also a very good question. I mean, we've already talked about the German leaf, so I would like to point out this little English miniature. So English manuscripts and miniatures are on the rarer side, so it's always exciting for me when they come up at auction. And here we have, I think, a very sweet scene. On the one side, it's a baptismal scene, and then we have a couple exchanging their wedding vows. And you can even see here above the child, there's a little clover for good luck, which I think, so that's quite a nice and quite unexpected item.
Ah, beautiful. And those miniatures, they come all together. This part of the
So they're individual lots basically, and I think it's super exciting for us because they really cover quite a wide geographical area, which is always nice to have.
beautiful. And what is the object that has the most traction?
That's so exciting, and I'm very happy to tell you that it is the Pelican Book of Hours, which we've talked about before, which is doing very well currently. So I'm hoping that it will continue to do very well because it is a beautiful object.
We can see here also small owls.
Yeah, you can see all like the animals in the borders and margins.
What is the owl last time?
It's really good, I think.
Beautiful. And I'm so happy for this beautiful book of owls.
Me too, thank you.
And I wanted to ask you, and what would be, in your opinion, the object for a young collector or a collector just starting to collect the books and manuscripts in your sale to point out?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I mean, obviously the miniatures are really, really good, which we have here, because obviously if you just want to kind of figure out what you really enjoy. But actually there's a set of roundels I would love to show you, and that's in the other room, if you would like to follow me. Yeah. So I think if you're kind of new to collecting, then I think this set of little roundels is absolutely fantastic. They're 15th century. They come from a Book of Hours, and you can see here we have 10 of these little kind of cards, and they show quite domestic scenes. So we have on the one hand, you've already pointed out the Sagittarius sign last time, so we have the zodiac signs, and we also have what's called the labors of the month. So kind of the occupation, the thing you would do in any given month, kind of in a rural environment. So I think they're very.
And you have the courting scene as well.
Yes, yeah, I love it.
Is it a bit like a mini version of Jean de Barry book of?
Yes, in a way, I think it is. I mean, they're super kind of traditional, and you'll find this kind of decoration in like a lot of like luxury books of hours. You will find kind of these items at the beginning of the calendar, basically. So you have the occupations or labors of the month on the one side, and then you have the zodiac sign on the other. And so we have 10 of these little roundels, and I think they're just very, very, like really artistically well done. The color quality is really nice, and it's just, I think handling them like this is just a very kind of, I don't know, very tactile and joyful experience. And I think the selection of scenes is also very charming. Here, for example, we have someone, I think it's in November, kind of warming himself by the fire, which I think is such a human thing to do. They're very fun. So we have 2 sales currently on. This one closes on the 7th, and then the very soon sale closes on the 9th.
So if you're all inside this, please stop by to have a look at the beautiful sale. Thank you.